Here we are. Can't even see the patient at this point with all the hands involved. We're getting Ralston ready for, we don't even know what number procedure this is on him, but we're going to try and cover up the exposed skull on his forehead. Let me get Alyssa to show us here. So he's just been intubated, but that white spot between his eyes, behind his eyes, that's actually skull. That's his skull. And the skin has stopped granulating, and we're going to try and do a sliding flap here. Here, Sarah's putting some lube in his eyes. And notice the fancy fingernails there on Sarah. You can always tell her hands. But we're going to try and free up some skin here and try and pull it forward, down over, and cover up that portion of the skull. Behind his nose there, where we can see his sinuses, we're planning to leave that granulate in. So we're going to try and position the skin without taking his ears too far out of normal position, although he doesn't really care at this point what he looks like. More to follow.
And also, because they don't blink.
Here Sarah's doing a scrub on Ralston's head with Alyssa's help. He's intubated here, and like Alyssa said, with his sinuses being exposed, you can see him blowing bubbles there from the top of his head, kind of like a dolphin or a porpoise here. He's got the blowhole on the top of his head, which we're hoping isn't permanent, but he just won't be able to go out and play in the rain.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah. All right, we got Ralston all draped up here, and he practically gets lost underneath the drapes. We're going to try and freshen up the edges here of some of this. And then what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and make an incision here, make an incision here, and do a sliding flap to pull this portion down to here and attach it here to cover up that portion of the skull. So we're going to just clean this area up first, and then we'll see how it closes up. So more to follow. Okay, so here we have the portion of skull that was exposed. We made a sliding flap, made an incision on this side and this side, so we can take that portion of the scalp up, and then we're going to pull that portion of the scalp down and attach it on either side to try and cover up as much of that skull as we can. So we're probably going to free up a little bit more, and we'll get some nice coverage of that. Bye now. Alright, well, we just finished up the sliding scalp flap on Ralston here. We made the incisions, and we basically we freed up a portion of his scalp, slid it forward to cover up the exposed portion of the skull. Like they say, he ain't pretty, but he's still my kitty. I know, that's bad, but what are you going to do? You know, we're working with him. We'll see how it turns out, and he's sure not going to win any beauty contests, but survivor he is. He's just waking up, starting to cough with the tube. Here's where we amputated his foot on his right hind leg, and there's where his on his left hind leg. He's upside down. And here we amputated his right hind leg. And we just finished up the sliding flap. He's waking up. We'll take the tube out here. And he's a tiger. It says, oh, I'm sleepy. I know. We're back here with Ralston, who we had to resort to an e-collar, Elizabethan collar, because when he woke up from his sliding flap skull procedure, he was pawing at his forehead quite a bit, and we didn't want him to tear out the sutures, so we had to set him up with an e-collar. And this is just one patient. He takes it all in stride, and we're hoping that that flap that we freed up from his skull and slid down over takes. If it does, great, and if it doesn't, it can't be any worse than it was beforehand, when you could see clearly the white bleached bone from his skull on top of his head. So we're gonna check back with him tomorrow and see how he's doing through the weekend. All right, more to follow.